The first key to building a really great team. Strong leadership, number one, strong leadership. And here we go, by way of a reflection, what type of leader are you? What type of leader are you perceived to be by your team? Are you dictatorial? Are you laissez-faire? Are you transformational, transactional? Have a look and see just, who am I as a leader? Leader is really about it's about influencing the team. It's about creating an environment where people can feel inspired, motivated, supported. It's not just about being in charge and making decisions and that. I come from a background from the military where there is no shortage of strong leadership, and there are occasions where leadership is strong leadership is required to make the difficult decisions. And the caveat we always had was making those difficult decisions every time consistently, even on a bad day. But it's about influence. So what are the areas that you can start to focus on in terms of that strength? And I think leadership is one about recognizing your own personal strengths, what it is that makes you a strong, vibrant leader. And the other one is tapping into the resource of your team and finding out where their strengths are, and often uncovering strengths that they haven't realized themselves. Areas of leadership, and there is much debate out there. Just put a search into Google and there will be millions of responses. But here's some of the fundamentals for me which are really key in terms of strong leadership. Having and sharing the vision. From my military days, we used to have what we called the end state. So regardless of how protracted or how long the mission was, whether it was a short operation, whether it was a 6-month operation, or whether it was the end state of a regimental drive within a battalion, it was always a case of knowing what the end state was, but everybody intrinsically understanding what it was, so that they knew their part in terms of how we were going to get to that end state. So, what was the vision? So, what's the vision for your team? Courage. Having courage. I've talked just a moment ago about making difficult decisions even on difficult days. But the other side, there are two elements to courage, and there is the physical courage that often that is kicked in through circumstance. And not everyone will tap into physical courage all the time. But we've talked about fear before, where you can actually, something you fear, go out and confront it. So an example would be, I don't like to parachute, I'm scared of jumping out of a plane, I'm scared of flying, and then you've got the physical courage to go and confront that. And actually take yourself beyond that physical limitation and actually leap from a plane. But just make sure you've got a parachute on. And the other one is moral courage. And that's the ability to, actually say and do things when there is just a side of you that is saying, no, I shouldn't say that. It doesn't feel right. I'd be scared to say that. Chastising, picking somebody up, seeing something that is wrong. Health and safety is a fantastic example where there is often a limitation of moral courage to a detrimental effect. See an employee who isn't wearing their PPE. And that, as a leader, it's then making sure that people understand, well, you need to wear that, and if you're not wearing it, there's risk X, Y, and Z. That's moral courage, having the morality to be able to step up and do what needs to be done. What about integrity? And I challenge you, to go back and have a look at my trust vlogs and the series on trust. And integrity is about that internal dialogue you have. What's the congruence in your integrity in terms of that conversation you have as a leader? And then how are you acting it out within the business? And then how are your team members, in terms of their integrity? We talk a lot about above and below the line. And again, go back and have a look at one of the previous vlogs, and you'll see, when we talk about, the way in which, integrity can play such a strong and critical part within an organisation. Humility and humour. All right, you've got the position of leadership. It doesn't necessarily give that it's a gift that the answers to everything. seek those answers by the team, by untapping into the resources that you haven't yet uncovered in their abilities, and humour. We all talk, and you'll see a theme when you look back over my vlogs, and certainly the way that I conduct my business is fun. Having some fun along the way is a vital element of creating a good presence in terms of strong leadership. And indeed, from my military days, humour was something that even in the most adverse conditions was something that got the girls and boys through it in terms of leadership. Planning is another area as a leader. Now it may well be that the concept here is that I personally have the ability to conduct the plan, to create the plan, to write the plan, to deliver the plan, and that's not the case. As a strong leader, again, it's about tapping into your team. We had a very, very complex planning. I say complex, but complex in the simple term. The complexity was present in the different areas, but it was delivered in such a simple term. We had a thing called the bird table. So at a headquarters level, you'd have a table, and then surrounded it were all the various wings, from artillery to engineering to infantry to aviation, whatever the case may be. And when the commanding officer would come in and start to put the plan together, he would bring together his subject matter experts. What is that in your business? Who are the people that you bring into the planning arena to plan forward? And then ultimately you're furnishing yourself with as much good quality information of what's going on in the business, in the marketplace, in the sales pipeline, that you're then able to plan effectively in terms of moving forward. So planning. And then the other one is, as a leader, let's be frank, you have got to be results orientated. This is about driving growth and moving the business in a direction that you see it going. So strong leadership. How would I determine the age-old question of leadership and management? Because leadership is different, and leadership can be learned. But the fundamental difference between this is the analogy I've used for years now about being in a jungle. And being in the jungle at the front edge, where the guys and girls are cutting through with the machetes, and just behind them are the managers, directing efficiencies, managing the process of people turning over and changing the person on the machete. Where's the leader in all of this? The leader is a little way back, up at the top of a tree, being able to see down into the jungle where the guys and girls are cutting through, and then directing them towards the vision, sharing that vision with them. So strong leadership, really, really key element. First key to building a successful team. Till tomorrow, or till our next vlog. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.